The 2021-22 NBA season is almost upon us, but hot take season is here. And at the end of another eventful offseason, we'll see how close to the sun we can fly and still stand the sweltering of these viewpoints. Data for the oldest teams in NBA history is somewhat scarce, but the 2012-13 New York Knicks were once dubbed the league's oldest team ever with an average age approaching 33 years old. And the 97-98 Chicago Bulls weighed over an average age of 32 years old, making them the oldest rotation to win a championship. Given the LA Lakers in a training camp relying on minutes from Carmelo Anthony 37, LeBron James 36, Trevor Ariza 36, Dwight Howard 35, Rajon Rondo 35, Wayne Ellington 33, DeAndre Jordan 33, Russell Westbrook 32, and Kent Bazemore 32, they could be north of that neighborhood even if Anthony Davis 28, Kendrick Nunn 26, Malik Monk 23, and Talen Horton-Tucker 20 logged major minutes. So are these Lakers equivalent to the 98 Bulls, who won 62 games in a 6-game final set against the Utah Jazz team that would soon rank as the league's oldest team in history by weighted average? No. James is unlikely to match what Michael Jordan did en route to his 6th ring, and his aged Lakers, still heavy favorites in the Western Conference somehow, will be more pretenders than contenders as a result. Even if the Lakers do win the West, benefiting from existing major injuries to stars on their 3 chief competitors, it is far easier to stare down to the 34-year-old Karl Malone than prime Giannis Antetokounmpo or the superstar trio of Kevin Durant, James Harden, and maybe Kyrie Irving on the other side of the bracket. Jordan entered the 97-98 season with 39,308 combined regular season and playoff minutes on his legs, working as a 34-year-old on the 3rd straight title campaign without missing a single game. James entered his age 37 season with 61,090 minutes logged, having missed 58 games over the past 3 years, including one injury that cost him a 2019 playoff berth and another that derailed last year's hopes in the first round. The 21,782 minutes difference is roughly the same as John Wall's played in his regular season career. This is no small measure. We have not seen James play a complete season since he was on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Even during the Lakers' 2020 championship run, he was afforded a 4th-month respite before returning to a bubble that removed all travel from the equation. Nobody is saying James is washed, but it is no longer given that he can be at the best in the playoffs, let alone be the best player in the league if he is. BetMGM lists 6 players with better most valuable player odds than James this season, and that does not include reigning MVP Nikola Jokic. No general manager decided James to win the award in 2022. Jordan was the undisputed top dog 24 years ago, a continuous runner-up finish to Karl Malone away from winning 3 straight MVPs. James has sandwiched 2 finishes outside the top 10 in MVP voting around a less controversial runner-up campaign to Giannis Antetokounmpo in the pandemic-shortened 1920 season. Granted, James was the odds-on MVP favorite through the first 2 months of the last season, but his grip on the award slipped before he suffered a high ankle sprain on March 20th. He was never the same, marked by the worst playoff performance of his career by any measure. Either there was something to his concession in early May, I don't think I'll ever get back to 100% in my career, or he was just playing on a long con. Regardless, Lakers' potential for derailment goes well beyond whether James can approach his peak performance. Much of the same logic applies to Anthony Davis, who has also benefited from the league's 4-month hiatus prior to the 2020 playoffs. He, too, has not navigated a normal regular season and playoffs since 2018, missing half of last season with an Achilles injury before straining his groin in the postseason. Do not forget that his regular season is far from normal. The bubble rolled into a shortened offseason, a condensed 2020-21 campaign marred by injuries to high-usage stars, and another shortened offseason. The Lakers have been a dominant force with James and Davis healthy on the court the past 2 seasons, outscoring opponents by better than 10 points per 100 possessions, which bodes well for the chances if they can avoid overtaxing either pillar during the regular season. Westbrook should help in that regard, but what becomes of the Lakers when his frenetic energy yields high-volume inefficiency in the playoffs? We have seen star Kevin Durant after star Paul George after star James Harden run from Westbrook's side. The Lakers sacrifice depth to acquire Westbrook. They scramble to sign a hodgepodge of veterans, along with Nunn and Monk, whose combined playoff experience entails Nunn's 19 games. He would have 6 more if he were not benched for chunks of the Miami Heat's finals bid in the bubble. Both Nunn and Ariza started for the Heat team that was swept by the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round last season, and Ariza, arguably the best wing defender of the current Lakers lot, just underwent right ankle surgery. DeAndre Jordan, Rondo, and Horton-Tucker combined for 20 DNPs during last year's playoffs, and Howard might as well have been absent from the Philadelphia 76ers second round no-show against the Atlanta Hawks. James is incredible, arguably the best ever at maximizing his teammates' strength, but there is only so much he can extract from that group, unless he rewinds the clock for his teammates to 2011. Granted, we made a similar hot take 2 years ago, and there's no questioning James' ability to defy time and space. Well guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Athletic Avenue, and ring that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching.